All right, it is time to customize that Chrome OPS on your CreateBoard. Let's put in some flavor and some spice to make it unique and get ready for your classroom. Up next are the top 5 ways that we suggest you can customize your Chrome OPS. All right, let's take a look at those 5 customization settings that we can make to the Chrome OPS. Now, 4 of them are going to be in the settings option themselves. So I'm just going to tap on the desktop and I'll go to Set Wallpaper and Style. And this is where I'll be able to find the wallpaper. And what I like about this particular way to get to this setting is that you can see the wallpaper behind us. And you see that right now I've got it currently set at some lavenders with some bubbles or raindrops. But if I tap that little arrow, I have all sorts of categories and extra images within those categories. So if I want to go to, let's say, cityscapes and scroll down to making me feel like maybe I'm in Portugal or Spain, I can do that. Now, just underneath the title of this particular image, it says Change Daily. So that is kind of nice. Every time you come to open up the board, there will be a different one of these pictures in there. It's always kind of fun and delightful to see that each day. So I'm going to, up at the top in my navigation, I'm going to go back and tap that home button. And next personalization you can do is choose the accent colors that go with your wallpaper. So now that I have this kind of oceany, Portugal-y view, I can change the accent colors. And you see the little blob to the right changing as I do that. I'm thinking I actually kind of like the green, or to go with the green hills right now. So I'm gonna keep the green on. Underneath that, you're seeing that you can change the themes from light to dark, light in the daytime, dark at night, and auto it if you want to have it change on its own. Now, we're not going to adjust the screensaver because if you watched the last video, you'll know that we actually made it so that the Chrome OPS did not go to sleep. Otherwise, we can't wake it up. So we actually had it screensaver. It's never going to come on. It'll never go to sleep. So no reason to access the screensaver. So those are the first 2 customization settings. The third setting we have is the shelf itself. So I'm going to hold down on the shelf on the bottom and I'm going to go to shelf position. This is going to let me make the shelf be on the bottom, or I can put it on the right or the left, and you'll see now it's on the right. I would suggest, however, that you do kind of keep it in the bottom for this particular device, the CreateBoards, because it is nice to have it centrally located rather than having to jump back and forth on each side of the board depending on where you're at to access that. Next, let's take a look at those pinned apps in the center of the shelf. I have pinned the most frequently used apps that I use. And then when I find that I'm not using one app more than another, I can unpin by just simply tapping on the app itself and unpin. Creates a little real estate there. So if I go to the left-hand corner to my menu and I find something that I do use more often, let's say I use the Google Keep option the most. And I'll pin that to my shelf. I'm always taking notes in my Google Keep. So now I've got Google Keep down here instead. And you can obviously pin and unpin as you're using things frequently or not. The last thing we want to take a look at is Chrome itself. So being on Chrome OPS means that you have the full access to the Chrome browser. That includes bookmarks. So you are going to want to, not on the CreateBoard, but on your own device in your Chrome profile, set up these bookmarks so that these websites that you're going to be using with the students on the CreateBoard are really easily accessible. That means, what I did with it when I was a teacher is I had a folder for maybe when I was teaching the Book Thief called the Book Thief. I'd put all of our websites in there and then be able to access them as I was using them with the students. Then I delete that folder at the next unit, bring the next unit's folder in, and bring all those websites up. It just reduces the time it takes to find in Google search for a website or to put in the URL. And just a quick refresher, I can create a bookmark by tapping the wishing upon the star in the Omni box or URL box, and I can choose which folder that particular bookmark is going to go in after I name it. I can also access and create a folder by tapping on the right-clicking or tapping on the bookmark bar, and then clicking Add Folder down here at the bottom. Now again, I would strongly suggest you do all of this organization on your own smaller device, like a laptop or a computer. It is a little cumbersome to do it on this big, huge screen. All right, so those are the top 5 ways we would suggest you customize your Chrome OPS on the CreateBoard to kind of give it your unique style. First, change the wallpaper. You can actually even have it change out daily if you'd like to. Second, change the accent color that goes with the wallpaper. Make it your own little flavor. Third, if you tap and hold your finger on the shelf, you can change the shelf position and a couple of other things that go along with the shelf. Fourth, unpin and pin the apps in the middle of that shelf for the most frequently used and get rid of the ones that you don't, so that you have an ease of use when you need to use those apps in the first place. And finally, go over to accessibility. There might be some features there that maybe don't make sense on your laptop, but 100% make sense on the CreateBoard. So play around with some of those features and see what might work for you.